Hi guys, it's Mike here from KS Bushcraft Down Under. Today I'll have a chat to you about cordage. So, cordage is one of those things which is really difficult to make from nature. And with cordage, you can build things, you can support tarps, you can do lots and lots of things. So, I was reading an article recently about bug out bags, and some guy described them as lots of rope and no hope. So you don't need miles of it. This hank here weighs 70 odd grams, same weight as a Swiss Army knife, and it's about 12 meters of paracord, which is about 36 feet I think. And the smaller cord on there is what we call hoochie cord. It's this stuff here. It's like a lightweight paracord. So there's 4 prospect loops on there. You don't need them, but it makes the life a lot easier. Now, the other thing, if you've got to knock up a survival shelter quickly, either there's been an accident, you weren't planning on staying out, all of the above. I live in a desert climate, so most of the bushes have very small leaves, and to get a shelter waterproof isn't something you can knock up in half an hour. So if you've got cordage and a plastic bag of some form, you can get a weatherproof shelter up half an hour maybe. It won't be anything glamorous, but it'll be enough to keep you dry and alive overnight. So, out of the pecking order, it comes in front of a combustion device, and it's sort of after a cutting tool of some form. Because with this, I can make a bow drill. I have a much better chance of making a fire than without it. So it's useful all around. And just because you're carrying a hank of paracord doesn't stop you carrying jute twine, which is useful for projects that don't need the strength. It also makes a great tinder. And other cords, such as this nano cord, which is almost a braided fishing line. So it doesn't take any space up, it's really strong, but it's certainly not reusable. So I'll go you through how I've made this settled hank of line, how easy it is to deploy, the way I've got it rolled up. So rather than just making a ball, and it's incredibly useful, it doesn't cost you much, and it really puts the odds in your favour. Anyway guys, that's what's coming up. Okay guys, if you just grab your paracord and wrap it around your fingers, your chances of getting it to unwind without a great pile of knots in it, not likely. So what I do is I double my cord, so this is the middle point. I put it in my hand like that, doesn't matter which way. I pin it with my thumb. I come back here. I try and be as consistent as I can, whatever length you want. It's up to you, but continue to fold it like this. Now this is a much smaller way than I used to use for my old climbing ropes. So as you continue along, just try and keep it as consistent as you can. It's not that important. Like that. So I've got about 12 meters of cord, which is a good size for a Ridgeline outdoors use in general. So we'll get down to a couple of feet. I've got my end here. So now I'm going to grab it in the middle. I'm going to stick my finger through and choke it like that. So all my loops are on the other side. Neaten it up a little bit. Come round the bottom. I'll keep my finger in there. And now I could just put a clo pitch on this and hold it, but what I'll do, I'll keeping my hole clear. I'll come around a couple more turns. Still got my hole clear. I'll pass one end through, like that. Okay, I'll come around the other 180 degrees. I'll come back through the other side. Okay. So now I've got that there. That'll pull down one side, that'll pull down the other. And I can just put a bow in it if you want. 2 half grannies will do the job. But a bow looks nice. Right. So that there, not the neatest job I've ever done. Won't tangle when it's deployed. So I can undo this, unwrap that, and just throw this. And on a good day it'll completely deploy out, rather than going around and around. So that's about the size you want for outdoorsy. About 10-12 metres or 30 odd feet, 35 feet of paracord in a nice compact ball. Okay guys, so I'll just undo my bow. My ends out. I'll undo my bow. And across my hand. This is the end I want to hold on to. Okay. So I'm hanging on to the tail end. And there you go. All revels out. Throws easy. No tangles. Easy as. Okay guys, so here's my tree. So I don't have any knots on the end of this here. So what I'll do, make a quick bowline. So I'll just fold this over the top, all around the tree, back in the hill. That's it there. Now if I made this bowline bigger I could actually pass the end through, but rather than doing that, just come around, put a bite of the rope through that. Right, any stick, doesn't need to be anything flash. And there I am. So I'm locked off, and all I have to do, pull that out, drop the stick out, and we're off. So there's one end done, straight off. Okay guys, if you've got a tarp with eyelets, just put a bite of the paracord through the eyelet. Put a stick through, and that will lock it in place. So as soon as there's some tension on it, it ain't going nowhere. Alright? Okay guys, I'll try and keep this in frame. Get my hand about there. Tie an alpine butterfly, go over the palm of your hand, once, twice, thrice. Okay. Just reach under, grab this one, bring it right round the top, out this side. So that's it there. Don't need access to any end of the ends of the rope. Okay. Then we'll just double back and tension it up. Okay. Just coming around the stick. So I have to actually don't need to grab an end of the rope. Just go through my alpine butterfly. Set my tension. Just pinch it here. A couple of times through. Now if you need to get up in the middle of the night and adjust the tension, it's not a difficult job at all. Okay guys, this is my liner cord. So I've got the knot away from the end. All I'm doing is I'm just passing it through. Usually about 3 times is enough. So that's it there. So without any tension on, it will slide but when it is under tension, it locks. So back in my mate climbing days, I used to use this for climbing ropes. Then I got mechanical ascenders and didn't need to anymore. But that is a good way of attaching a tarp. You don't have to tie it on. You can just pass a toggle through it and put the eyelet of the tarp on there. So it's a good thing to have. You can also just put a bend in that and put the tarp through there and toggle it through. But it's good to have some of these frost loops attached to your line. So take down as easy as, and just come around, unpop this. I've only used a couple of metres at the end of this line, so you don't need access to either end if you're doing it the way I'm doing it. Just take that off. So if you've tied your Alpine butterfly properly, even in this thin cord, basically just pulling that wing away. And even if it's had a lot of tension on it, it'll just come apart. So basically, if you know a Alpine butterfly knot, bowline, figure of 8, figure of 9 knot, you can do anything outdoors. You don't need to know all the fancy stuff. Well guys, I hope that helped you out. So to round things out, for those of you that maybe are struggling with knots, there are devices out there. So Night Eyes make a variety of paracord tensioning devices. So for very simple things like this thing, they call it a figure 9, or these guys here. So the spring-loaded clips got a cam on the back, so it allows you to tension off and that. But to me, it just sort of adds a weak plastic link to what doesn't require something like that. But if it helps you out, whatever helps you out. Anyway guys, if you find this content useful and helps you out, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out greatly, and I shall see you next time.